Morning, friends. Good afternoon. Good evening to everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I am back after months to continue my series of videos on YouTube regarding the topic SAP Finance. Now, moving on with the demand to post some videos regarding accounts payable, regarding this accounts payable cycle, how it works, what is the process in accounts payable. These are the simple and clear cut processes where we are going to deal with it in a very clear cut way. Now moving on to accounts payable. What is accounts payable? As I told you in my first video, accounts payable is nothing but accounts related to vendors or suppliers. As you know, who is a vendor, who is a supplier? A vendor or a supplier is one who supplies materials to companies. Now, moving on to the accounts payable. If you are familiar, if you have gone through my first video, you will be having a clear cut idea about accounts payable and the configuration settings done there. Now, moving on, I'm just brushing up regarding the accounts payable part 1. This is part 2. Now, how many segments do we have in accounts payable or vendor accounts? How many segments do we have in vendor accounts? We have 3 segments in vendor accounts. What are the segments? What are the segments means? Segment is nothing, a combination or a group of information regarding the vendor. Okay, we are grouping the information of the vendor into 3 groups. Okay, what is the first group? It is called as, the group is nothing but a segment in SAP. Okay, what is the first segment that we have in vendor account? The first segment is general data segment. Okay. Second is company code data segment. This is general data segment, company code data segment. These are all maintained by the finance department. Clear? Now, there is third segment, purchase organization. This is purely maintained by material management department or purchase department in an organization. Okay. How many segments do we have in vendor account? We will be having 3 segments in vendor accounts. What are the 3 segments? The first segment is general data segment, company code data segment, and purchase organization. FI guy, FICO guy will be dealing with 2 segments, general data segment and company code data segment. Purchasing organization is purely maintained by department or purchase department. We don't have any role to play in this. Okay, clear. Now, briefing about what is the data that general data segment will be having. Segment, as I told you, it is grouping of data. What kind of data will be grouped under general data segment? The different kinds of data from the vendor will be vendor address, communication, control, payment transaction, on contact person. These are the 5 sub-segments under main segment, general data segment. What is it? Under general data segment, you will be having address, communication details, control details, payment transaction details, on contact person details. Clear? Now moving on to vendor company code data segment. Company code company code, data, company code data segment. What is company code data segment consists of? It consists of account management, payment transactions, correspondence, and withholding tax. What it is having? It will be having account management details. There are various fields under this subsegment. Payment transaction, what kind of payment, through which bank, and all those details it will be consisting of. This is the second subsegment under company code data segment. Correspondence is the address of the vendor, and all those things will be covered under this subsegment correspondence. Withholding tax detail will be covered under withholding tax subsegment. Clear? How many segments we have? We have general data segment, company code data segment, and purchasing organization segment. FI concerned consultant will be handling general data segment and company code data segment. Clear? Right. Now moving on to vendor accounts group. In the real scenario in our system, we have grouped our vendor accounts into 4 groups. What is that? Petty cash vendors, domestic vendors, national vendors, and international vendors. Petty cash vendors, I will show it on the system. But a clear idea what domestic vendors are. Domestic, we are clubbing different kinds of customers based, different kinds of vendors based on the geographical locations. Now the question is, who is a domestic vendor? A domestic vendor is one vendor who is within the state of Karnataka. Okay, we have decided that all the vendors in Karnataka will be grouped under domestic vendors. Now, moving on to the second group, it is national vendors. 4 national vendors, all the vendors within India but outside of Karnataka state. They're all clubbed under what? National vendors. And international vendors, as you know, the name itself suggests that these vendors are not in India. They are outside of India. They are belonging to other countries. Right? Clear. Out. Now moving on to how to create a vendor. What is the T code to create a vendor? What is the T code? XK01. What is this? XK01. There are different kinds of vendor creations. Don't get complicate things, or don't get confused. Just practice or based on my concepts so that it will be easy. When you are perfect, you can go on create different kinds of vendors. Right? Now we are creating a vendor. How to create a vendor? By using T code XK01. When you enter XK01 in the system, the screen will open up showing you 5 to 6 boxes of fields to enter the data. Don't enter anything in any of the box except enter your company code and enter the vendor account group. Vendor account group will be in a drop down box. Whatever group you have created, it will be present in the drop down box. You select your concerned or related account group and click on enter or continue button. Okay. Once again, I am repeating the same step. To create a new vendor in the system, we are using the T code XK01. When you enter XK01 and execute, your screen will come up, which will give you 7 to 8 fields on the screen. Please don't enter any data in any of the fields except company code. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding company code, press F4 and select the company code. And in the vendor account group, press F4 or click on the drop down box. You will get different kinds of account groups created in the system. Select your concerned or related account groups and click on enter. Okay. This is an example of how we are initially in the first screen. We are going to create a what is it going to decide? In the first screen itself, we are deciding what the vendor we are creating belongs to petty cash vendor, domestic vendor, national vendor, or international vendor. Okay, straightforward. In the initial screen itself, you are telling the system this vendor will be belonging to this group. Which groups? There are four groups: petty cash vendor, domestic vendor, national vendor, international vendor. When you enter international vendor, what it will be doing? It will be taking international vendor group, and whatever number is assigned, that it will take that number. When you save it, automatically it will pick up the next sequence number from this number range. Okay, is it clear? So where, for example, you are going to create a vendor, you enter company code and you enter, based on our example, you enter, okay, this is group, okay, this is 0, this is what we have decided to have, 1, okay, now clear, okay. Now you are when you create, when you are creating a vendor, you are entering xk01. In the initial screen, you will be coming up with 7 to 8 fields, all blank, and waiting for some inputs from you. Don't enter any data in the fields except enter data in the company code, whatever company code you have created. As I told you, if you have any doubts, click the option box. It will open up the screen with all company codes. Select your concerned company codes and in go to vendor account group. Click the options or select F4 key. It will open up all the vendor account groups created in the system. Okay. Select the consent. Now, for example, if you are selecting 2 in vendor account groups, what it will be doing? It will be creating a vendor in the system under the group. What is this? Under this group. What is this group? What is this group? It is national vendors. It will be creating under national vendors. What number it will be assigning? It will be assigning the number range from 4,77,001 to 4,78,000. What it will do? It will start picking from the first number 4,77,001. If in our system we have already created 2 vendors. Now if you create the next, if we create a next vendor under this group for US2, what number it will be giving? 477,103. Okay. Automatically, whenever you are creating a vendor under specific group, it will be incrementing the number by 1. Okay. And assigning it to the vendor. Clear? Right. Now, moving on. Okay, I will explain to you. Now we'll create a vendor. Okay. We are having the group. We will go to the SAP screen and we will be creating a vendor. What is the T code? /NXK01. Enter. What are we doing? We are creating a new vendor and we'll create this vendor under whatever you select. Okay. But we are creating right now for domestic vendor. As I told you, already two vendors are created under domestic, international, and national. Okay. As I told you, when you are creating a vendor in the initial screen, this is the T code XK0. Don't enter anything. What we are doing? We are entering only data in company code. I want to create a vendor under this company code and under account group. Click on this. It will show up all the account groups created in the system. Select your account groups. What are the account groups that we are having? We are having, as I told you in my, this is petty cash, domestic, national, and international. What we are doing? We are creating a domestic vendor. Okay. Now, what we need to do? Click on enter. Now you are on a first screen. This address screen. Okay. Click on, think that it is a company. Sample trading company. Okay. Opposite. Opposite. Triveni Mall. Party Nagar. 560032. It is not necessary to enter this data here because it is not mandatory. These fields are not mandatory, but still I am showing you. Okay. This, see here. Why this check mark is appearing? This is a mandatory field. If you don't enter any data in this field, the data will not be saved and it will not move forward. This screen will not move forward and it will not go to the next screen. So this is a mandatory field. What is the country that we are having? Our company code is located in India and region is 10. 10 is means what? It is Karnataka. How you come to know? Select the option. Click on 10. Whatever state it belongs to, click on that. Then simple. Click on enter. Now, this screen belongs to what? Control screen. All this control screen is for statutory data like tax, jurisdictions, tax type, VAT registration number, location, and all those things. Okay. So, no need to enter any data in here. In the real time, you will be having data. You need to enter it. Okay. Now, click on enter. Now, what it is doing? Payment transaction. What is the payment transaction? This screen payment transaction under general data is capturing the information of vendor and its bank information. We'll give this as India bank key 55110022. Okay, bank account number 225577001 and account is sample, account holder name is sample trading company. Okay. Now, you might be having a doubt, sir, which bank? There is no name of the bank. It is mandatory that you fill up this for columns or fields. Only after that you can click here, bank data. Bank data is what? You are giving the details of the bank. Bank name, address, shift code, and all those things. Okay. Click on bank data. Now, what is the bank that you are having? We'll give this as Canara Bank. Okay, 10 is Karnataka street, something like MG Road, Bangalore, Avenue Road. Okay, shift code is CNRBLR 004 6. Okay, we'll give this account number same as bank number as same as number. Now click on save. Now this vendor will be having an account with Canara Bank. Okay. Now click on enter. Now you are on a screen accounting information. This data belongs to where? Which segment? Accounting information segment belongs to company code data. What is the recon account that we are going to select here? For vendors, it is Centric Creators account. Now we are going to check for, if you don't enter any data, it will not be saving it. Why? Because mandatory check is enabled in here. Click on here. It is a domestic payment. We will select A1 domestic payments. Okay, domestic payments AP, right? Okay, now click on enter. Now it is asking you something, payment terms. How you are going to pay this vendor? How means within how many days? For initially, we will put it as immediate. Like whenever we get the materials, immediately we'll issue a check for that. Okay. Now click on this, check double invoice. What is this double invoice? In a single fiscal year, no two invoices should have the same number. Okay. You think in July you got invoice number 5,900. And in January, again, you are getting the same invoice number 5,900. System will not accept this and it will throw an error saying that alert 5,900 is a duplicate invoice. You need to change it to make sure that no two invoices are accounted twice. Now, individual payment is what? For each invoice, whatever is there in APP, this will be effective in APP only. Whatever invoices are there, it will be paid individually, separately. If we have 10 invoices, 10 invoices will be paid separately, issuing a check for each of the invoice. Okay, if you don't click this, what will happen? Only one check will be issued for the 10 invoices. Okay, so to make life easy for yourself and for the vendor in reconciliation, we will keep this individual so that each invoice paid can be easily identified. Okay, clear? All right. Now click on enter. Now it is asking some other. This dunning procedure, dunning, all this thing is not related to a vendor. It is related to a customer. Okay. Now click on enter. It is asking you editing will be ended. Should the data be saved first? Yes. What will be the number it will be giving now? What will be the number that it will be giving now? It will be giving 4,76,103. Right? Just wait. It is processing. It will check all the data, whether it is correct and in the correct format. And it will go to the where? Account group. From the account group, it will select the number range and it will check what number is the next to be assigned to this vendor. Then it will assign that number. Hope I am very clear to you. Okay. For any doubts, any clarification, any more information, you can write back to me. Okay. This video is been uploaded because of the demand from the people on my students who wanted to know more about the accounts payable. Accounts payable is a critical function in an organization where you maintain a very strict and tight control over the payables. Payables means what? Paying to the outsiders in a business. Okay, now the processing is complete. It has checked, it has found that all the data entered is valid and it is issuing a number. What number it has issued? Already 4,76,103. Why 3? The starting number is 4,76,101. 101, 102 is already created. The next number it will assign is 103. It has assigned 103. Okay, clear? Okay. Now, what is that we are going to do? We'll go back to that word screen. We will make sure what we are going to do next. Okay. Now your vendor is ready. Now your vendor is ready. You can carry out the transaction with this vendor. Vendor invoice post. What is that vendor will supply us? He will supply as a goods or materials. And along with the goods or materials or after 1 or 2 days, couple of days, he will be sending as an invoice. We need to account this invoice into the system, SAP system. What were we going to do? We are going to account the invoice in our SAP system. So how can we account this invoice in our SAP system? By using any of the T codes. The first T code is FB60 and F-43. Why are these two codes given for one single transaction? For same transaction, we are having two different T codes. Why is that? FB60 is a single screen posting and this F-43 is a multiple screen posting. Previously, people were having or getting confused because in F-43, you need to enter data in 3 different screens, one by one. One is gone, second is coming, second is gone, third is coming. So people are not getting an information what they entered in the first screen and second screen. So what SAP came up with? It came up with a beautiful design for posting a vendor invoice by using T code FB60. Whatever you want to post, everything is present on a single screen. Okay. FB60 what? Vendor invoice, single screen posting. F-43 vendor invoice, multiple screen posting. Okay. Now we will post 2 invoices. One without GST tax, one with GST tax. How the entries will be appearing? How is that entries will be appearing? When you are posting a vendor invoice into the system, what is the transaction? What will be debit and what will be credit? What is that we are getting? We are getting an inventory. Debit what comes in and who is giving it? Vendor is in real account. What is he doing? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Vendor is giving or receiving? He is giving. So vendor is credited and inventory or purchase is debited. Okay. Then for the same thing with GST, how the transaction will be appearing? We will be purchasing an inventory for inventory account, purchase account, debit 1000. GST tax at 5% on 1000 is 50. Then to vendor account is 1050. Is it clear? Yeah, we'll post this transaction into the system right now. What is the transaction code we are using? /n FB60. What is that we are doing? We are posting a invoice using transaction code FB60, vendor invoice posting single screen. Okay, right. What is the vendor? You don't know. How to know? Click on F4. Where the cursor is here. When the cursor is here, click on F4. It will open a pop-up box. Or else you can click on the option here. Okay. What is this? Make sure that you are selecting the vendors for your company code YUS1. Click on continue. Now, what is that? This sample trading company we have just now created. We'll post this invoice. I am not posting into other vendors because it is having transaction. You will not be getting a clear idea how the data is presented. So in a new company without data, I am posting the transaction. Okay. We are selecting this. Right. What is the date? Okay. 1st December 2023. 1 2 223. Okay. What is the amount? 1050. Okay. I am selecting, not selecting anything. Why? This invoice is posted without GST tax. Okay. Now, vendor invoice posting for which company code? Okay. Right. What is this data called as? Header data. And this is called as line item data. Keep the cursor here again. You can press F4 or you can click on the option here. It's up to your convenience. Now, make sure this is your company code. Click on. So what is it showing? Okay. Where is the purchase account? Purchase account is here. Okay. This is the purchase account. What we need to do? Purchase account 1000. We'll keep this as 4500 as shown in the example. Here also we'll take this as 4500. This posting is done without any GST tax. Why it is showing this alert here? Because the present month is January and it is the 11th period. Okay. But we are posting into the 10th period. This period is called as 10th period. The 10th period in our fiscal year is December. Okay. Just click on continue. Click on continue. Click on continue. Now you are not getting any alert. That means the system has accepted the data. Now you can go ahead and post the data. Before posting, make it a regular practice that you verify the data before it is getting posted. Because deletion of data in SAP is very difficult. It is near to impossible that you delete the data. You can reverse it, but reverse means again there will be lot of redundant data present in the system. What we need to do before posting any data, go and click on simulate so that the data what is to be posted will be shown on the system. It will not be posted, but it will be shown on the system. After you save, then the data will be posted into the system. Just wait, it is taking time because this is a new vendor. Now it is showing what? It is simulating. Simulating is what? It is a sample entry. The same entry will be posted into the system when you save it. So it is showing what is this? Purchase account debit to sample trading account. Sample trading account is what? It is a vendor. Vendor is credited and purchase account is debited. Click on save. Now The data we have verified and reviewed the transaction to be posted into the system. I find it is accurate. Then we can go ahead and we can post it. How can we post it? When you click on save, it will get posted to the respective GL account. How many GL accounts will be affected here? Vendor account. What vendor? Sample trading company. Vendor account will be credited and purchase account will be debited. So make sure whenever you are posting anything or you want to follow this transaction, note down the document number. How? When the system posts the transaction successfully, it will give a document number to you. You can write down the document number so that you can easily track that. We will check. Now it is compiling and it will issue a document number. When a document number is issued from the system, then only this is a confirmation that this data or transaction is posted into the system. Okay, make sure that you get the document number. How? I'll show an example what it shows here. Okay, my friends, any doubts? Yeah, this is a simple entry without any GST tax applied. I'll show you the next entry with GST tax also. Yeah. Now, document 4056 was posted in the, what is that document number? 4056. What is the document? 4056. Okay, just note it down. We'll post another document with tax. How to post a document vendor invoice with tax? We'll select the same vendor. 476106. We'll post for the I think our system is a little bit slow. Just bear with me. Okay. This is the same. We'll go for 2/12/2023 to 12/2023. Okay. We'll take this 1050. Why we are taking 1050? 1000 is the purchase amount and 50 rupees is the applicable GST 5%. Click on calculate tax. So it will be disabled. Click on enter. Now it will show up everything. This car tax amount is gone now. That means what? We are going to tell the system that apply this tax percentage. What is the input tax that we are applying? We are applying it for intrastate or state and central. Okay. We'll apply it for state and central. Okay. Vendor invoice posting with GST. Okay. Now, what is this transaction that we are going to do? We are going to select the purchase account. How much is the amount? 1050 is the amount, right? Now click on enter. Now the transaction is good to go. It can be posted successfully. See, previously it was in red, now it has turned to green. That means what? The transaction is good to go, good to be posted. What is the next step you need to do? Harish, Anil, what is the next step? Yeah, we need to review the transaction. To review the transaction, we need to click on simulate. The transaction before posting, it will show what is that line item that it is going to post into the respective GL accounts. This is a standard practice for all consultants and all the end users so that you verify the transaction before it is getting posted. Okay, what is it doing now? See, as I told you, purchase account is debited by 1000. GST tax 5% is 2.5. 2.5 is broken between this state and central. Okay, this is 25 and 25. This is the total debits are 1050 and credit for vendor is 1050. Okay, every time keep it in mind, the debit should be equal to credits. Click on save. Now 4056 is the first posting without GST. With GST is 4057. Now I want to see the transaction. What is posted into the vendor ledger? What is the T code? Any idea? Okay. /n FBL1N. What is this? FBL1N is for posting to display vendor line items. Vendor line items. FBL1N is for display vendor line items. Sorry. So what it will be showing? It will open a screen and it will show you multiple options there. You can select multiple vendors to see all the vendor GL transaction line items, or you want to see single vendor line items. You can select any of the options there. Okay. What is that? This is the screen. What is the screen? FBL1N. What is this? Vendor line item display. What is that vendor that we are looking to view the line items? 476103. What is this? We are going to click on execute. What it will be doing? It will be showing how many transactions? It will be showing 4056 and 4057 document number line items. It will be showing two transactions, two or credits. Two or credits, 4500 and 1050. These are the, see here, the document number 4056, 4057. 1st of December, 2nd of December, 4500 and 1050. Right? Okay. So now you want to see the taxes and the purchase account. Okay. So how you will see the GL account? This FBL1N is purely for displaying or vendor line items. GL account, tax GL accounts and purchase GL accounts or GL accounts through which we cannot see the transaction in FBL1N. We need to go to FBL3N. This is for display GL accounts. display GL accounts excluding vendors and customers. All the GL accounts here. Okay. Check, make sure that it is your company code. Click on this option here. Now enter your chart of accounts YUS1 and click on enter. Now it will showing you all the GL accounts, right? Right. I will check whether this purchase account is the number is what. Okay. First we need to select taxes. Okay. Or I will select all the taxes here. Okay. Here GST. What we put here? Okay. Right. This is the transaction that we have selected. Okay. I am selecting this and what we are going to select? Purchase account 15101. Okay. It will show these two accounts. 15 15101. Click on execute. Now click on execute. What it will be showing? It will be showing only this tax GL account for 5% and the purchase accounts. This is what GST accounts. Where is this transaction that we have posted just now? How we will identify? Here by document number. How? This is the transaction. How you will identify it? As I told you, if you want to track any transaction, you should be knowing the document number. Posting date also is very difficult. You might be having hundreds of invoice posted for a particular date. So if you have a clear-cut idea about which documents you are looking for, you need to have the document number. So this is the document number and this is the date. We have posted it. It is 25 and 25. Now going to purchase account. How many entries we are going to find? Two entries. 4056 is 4500, right? And 4057 is 1000. Then clear? Any doubts? No. Okay. Right. Now we will go on to show. Now we have posted a two. So okay, we will go back to that new share and go back to this. Okay. What is it showing? This vendor is showing in red. What does this red means? That means these invoices are open. Open means what? Unpaid invoices, outstanding invoices. We need to pay these invoices. So how can we make the payments to the invoices? We'll go back little bit of word and we will post the payment also. Okay. Now posting vendor payments. How can you post a vendor payment? F dash 53. Okay. It is a single string screen posting. So what is the transaction when you when you make a payment to a vendor? Who will be debit? Who will be credit? Who is the receiver? We are making the payment. Who is receiving the payment? Vendor. So vendor is what? A personal account. Debit the receiver. Vendor will be debited. And who is giving the cash? Cash account or bank account. It will be credited. Cash or bank. Very simple. Okay, we'll go back. What is the transaction? /n f dash 53. F dash 53 is what for what? For what? It is for vendor invoice payment. or in SAP it is called as outgoing payments. Outgoing means what? It is we are not receiving any payment. We are making the payment to outsider. That is meant outgoing payments. Friends, hope until now it is very clear, crystal clear to you how the posting can be done, how vendor can be created, how vendor invoice can be posted without tax and with tax, how the payments can be made. I will show it to now. Okay, now now it is showing F-53 post outgoing payments. Okay, think that we are making the payment for 1/12/2023. We are making the invoice for 4,500 for the first invoice which we posted on 1st December 2023. Okay. Document number 4056 vendor payment. Okay. Give the same. Okay. Now, how we are paying? You are paying through cash, bank, whatever it is. Select that thing. I am paying through bank. I will select my bank, SBI Bank. Okay. Now, how much is the amount? 4,500. When it will be paid? On the same date. 1/1/20, 1/12/2023. Okay. Give the whom it is paid. We need to give select the vendor. 476103. Select it. Okay. What is the vendor? Here is the vendor. Sample Trading Company. Right. Now, what have we done? We are giving the payment date. We are giving the posting date, document date, and posting date. No need to enter anything. By default, this is being captured by the system. Give the document header text so that when you are verifying the line items, it will give you a clear idea to whom you have made. This is paid to for against invoice number 4056. How you are making the payment? It is cash account or bank account or whatever account it is. And how much is the amount? And what is the value date? When you enter a bank account, it is mandatory that you enter the value date and give the text. This text will be appearing in the bank account. That payment that payment is made against this invoice number 4056 or document number. And to whom it is paid? It is paid to this vendor, sample company. Now, after entering this data, click on process open items. This alert is given. Click on enter. No need to worry about this. Okay. Now, these two invoices are pending. Okay. My friends, please concentrate here. Now, these two invoices are pending. How we will come to know how these invoices have to be paid? If both are in blue, that means what? Both these invoices are selected for payment. If you want to pay only for 4,500, double click on this, it will turn to black. That means what? 4,500 is selected. How you will come to know? Amount entered is this one and assigned. See, when I click on this, it will become 0 here. What means? That means the system has selected no invoices. So if you want to select the invoice, double click on this, it will turn to blue and it will carry this amount from here to here. Now the balance is 0. Click on document simulate. If you are In doubt regarding the posting, click on simulate. Okay, this is this. The vendor is debited and bank account is credited. Click on save. How will you come to know when this document is posted? Whether this document is when you get a document number provided by the system, then it is confirmed that the document or transaction is posted. Okay, now we'll post for another payment. What is the transaction for this? Transaction T code /N F dash 53. Okay, now 2 12 2 12. This is again document number 57 57, and the bank account is through which bank we are paying. How much is the amount? 1050. Okay, valid date is 2/12. Against which document we are paying? Document number 47. On which vendor? 476103. After entering all this data, click on process open items, enter it. Now it is showing only one outstanding invoice. This is automatically selected, 1050. If you click on this, how you will come to know which document is selected or not? Which document is selected? Now, none of the documents are selected. How you will come to know? It is not in blue or it is not selected any documents here. When you click on here, it has turned to blue. That means this amount is selected in here. If it has multiple selections, it will accumulate all amounts and it will show the total here. Now, 1050. Make sure that every time not assigned should be 0. Go to document and click on simulate. Now, vendor account is debit and SBI bank account is credit. Click on save. Okay. Now, what will be the effect now? As I told you, this line items now shown is in red. Red means what? It is unpaid invoices. This invoices the purchase of goods made from the vendor. We have not yet made the payment. So now we have already made the payment. What will be the effect now? Now this will turn to green. If you click on refresh, no data will be present on the screen. Why? Now these invoices are paid. Sir, you are saying that it is already paid and it is not showing anything. How to view the or display the transaction which is already paid? Go back to the screen. Which screen we are in? FBL 1M. Click on cleared items. Execute. Is it showing everything for you? This is the invoice and this is the payment. How you will come to know against this invoice which is the payment? The document number assigned, primary number assigned to the payment will be assigned to the invoice here. The primary number assigned to the payment will be assigned to the invoice also. Okay. Is it clear? Any more doubts? Okay. This is the whole gamut. There is a wide variety of topics in accounts payable, like account APP, automatic payment automatic payment program, tax configuration, GST, input tax configuration, advanced vendor, discount, and all those things. We will be covering one by one all the topics in near future. If any doubts, any information or details you need regarding the video, please write back to us on our email address or contact us on the given mobile number. Okay. Our email is email. We are providing advance on contact number 95915093362. If you want to go for basic SAP FICO training, we are providing it, and also advanced SAP FICO course which covers topics like creating queries, validation, and substitution, DME files, financial statement version. These are the four topics. This will be covered under advanced topic, which are in high demand right now. The course duration will be 4 weeks. Okay. If anyone is interested in knowing about the SAP FICO training or advanced SAP FICO courses, you can write back to us on rafiahmed12@hotmail.com or contact mobile number 95915093362. Thanks for your time. See you later. Thank you very much. Good night. Bye bye.